Um, okay, so I honestly don't know why I'm doing this, but now that I actually, the fact that I'm not inspired, but the fact that, something told me to do this, then I'm just gonna do it. Who knows? You guys might not even see this, but yeah, so I mean, if any of your Twitter feeds are anything like mine, then like the past few days, like the past day, especially yesterday. Yesterday was the 19th, so Friday. It was incredibly. It was difficult, not gonna lie, and you know, I, I was seeing it, and I was reading everyone's stories, and it's like, wow. First of all, the courage to be able to speak out is amazing, but yeah, and then a lot of my friends spoke out as well, talking about their stories, and it's kind of like, okay, well, people care. Like it's not something that's not important, and it's something that you should share because, like, now I realize it's not until now that I realize, like, basically every single female and guys. Let's not forget that guys do get abused too, but like obviously as a female, talking from personal experience, it's like, wow, a lot of females have suffered from some type of sexual assault, and I, yeah, I was like, I've never really talked about this. I probably only, like, less than a handful of people know. I've never really talked about it, but I feel my heart. I'm just gonna, yeah. So, okay, my dad passed away in 2010, and since then, the word family and just the concept of family as a whole has meant a lot to me. And yeah, but even at that, like, apart from that, since his death, I think that especially the first few years afterwards, I was incredibly vulnerable, and I think I valued the family connection so much because, in the end, family's always there for you. So yeah, so one summer I went to Nigeria. Oh gosh, I've never I've never really, talked about this. Like I said, I know I keep on saying that, but I've never really talked about this. So I've never been able to express my emotions about it. But yeah, so if I cry, I apologize. But yes, I went to Nigeria for the summer, and I um I was I was molested. I was molested by um a family member of mine. Um, you know, and it wasn't necessarily the first time, and I say that because prior to that event, smaller things had happened, but I just kind of brushed off as like, okay, whatever. But this time I remember I was asleep, and and sometimes, like, if you need to pee while you're asleep and then it somehow translates into your dream and you're like, oh shoot, I need to go to the toilet, and you wake up. It's kind of something like that. So in my dream, I was dreaming, and I remember feeling something, like it didn't feel good. And it was like my brain was telling me, okay, danger, danger, wake up. I woke up, and when I realized what was happening, it was kind of like a sleep paralysis moment. If I can, if I think that's the only way I can explain it. It was like, okay, I know what's going on, but I can't move. Like, I couldn't move. It was like, if yeah, I just couldn't move, and I froze, and I couldn't stop it for, like, yeah, I mean almost an hour, where I was just in this state where I know what's going on, but I can't move. And Yeah. And so like I said, um, it ended when I think he was called out of the room to do something, and that's when I finally got up. I went to the toilet, and I think I just sat there for a while, and I was like, okay, don't freak out, don't freak out. You know, it doesn't mean anything. But you know, it had happened, not on that scale, but things had happened. Things had happened in like smaller scales where I've been like, you know, I've just kind of pushed away, that kind of thing. So when this happened, I was like, okay, you know, I should tell someone. But obviously, it's like, like I said, this is very close family. So it's like, like, I tell my mom, like, what's gonna happen? I don't, and I'm the last person who will cause a problem for anyone else. Like, I just hate, I hate that. So it's like, okay, you know, if I do this, like, what are the repercussions? And, but anyways, I told, you know, I told my mom, and like, yeah, I told my mom and nothing happened. And this is not me sitting here, I'm not gonna bash my mom, because to this, like, honestly and truly, I don't think she fully understood, because the way I said it, even I watered it down. Like, I watered it down. I made it into the littlest thing ever. Yeah, I just made it smaller than it actually was. And because of that, you know, nothing happened. That is okay. I do not blame her. But since then, you know, I've always had the mindset that, oh, you know, no one really cares. And I hate to say that, because I know my mother, and if my mother, like, if I went to my mom and told her right now, you know, this happened, my mom will fight for me till the very end. So that's another reason I know, like, she just didn't fully understand where I was coming from, which is fine. But because of that, and because, you know, nothing really happened afterwards, I never felt like I could say anything. And it's like, how many times have I come to Nigeria since then? How many times have I seen this person? And it's like, I, like, what am I supposed to do? You know, like, the only thing I can do is just be alert all the time and make sure that I'm away. Like, if we go visit them, like, I have to make sure that, you know, I will walk around like this the whole time, and I will distance myself, because I just, you know, I just don't want to think about it, you know, because it could happen again. But yeah, so since then, I just always been like, okay, no one cares. And it's not like any, like, in the end, what's going to be done? It's a close family member, and even if it's like, okay, I knew she didn't really understand, and I was to go back out there and tell her again, I'm gonna break up a family, you know, and that is the last thing I want to do. So I just bottled it up, and over the years, you know, I see this person, it's just like, okay, yeah, it's kind of like, okay, like, you know, it happened, whatever. He probably doesn't even remember, like, he probably didn't think he did anything wrong. So, you know, I might as well just continue on as nothing happened. And that's what I did. But yeah, from that point on, I just realized that, yeah, from that, I feel like, because I never really talked about it or shared it with other people, I feel like it did more damage than I realized. All my friends know this, but I always I went by the nickname, you know, Virgin Mary or Pastor's Wife or whatever, because I was always seen as this prude, this frigid person. Because I don't know, I just, you know, I just hated the idea, you know, of it, of into, like, even, like, regardless of, like, sex and sexual, you know, relations, like, I just always, the idea of intimacy just, it never, you know, appealed to me. And prior to this also, I feel like I used to be I was an extrovert, like I was an outgoing person, and now I call myself an introverted extrovert because since then it's like, okay, if a close family member can do this to me, anyone can do this to me, So it's like now, like it's not even in that sense, just any sense of betrayal. So since then, it's kind of been like, okay, I need to observe you first. I need to figure out what type of person you are before I can trust you, because I trust really easily, and if I trust you now, then you hurt me. It's just another cycle again. Yeah, there's certain situations where there's this thing about coercion, and you're being like, I don't want to say forced, but it is forceful. It's not necessarily your decision, and you're not giving consent. It's a thing where you're made to feel bad if you don't do something. And back then I was like, oh, well, if I'm making this person feel bad, then obviously I'm doing something wrong, and I know how to fix this issue. That is coercion. And that's a form of assault, and I know that now, but I never realized that. And it's a thing where if I had talked to someone, you know, they would have obviously been able to identify the red flag. But to me, it was like, I have the remedy to this problem, and I can solve it and make the person happy. Recently, something similar happened to me. It got to a point where, I was being touched inappropriately, and I said stop so many times. I said it so many times to the point when I was like, okay, I got up, I was like, okay, you have to go now. You have now put me in a position where talking to you makes me uncomfortable. And I can't even. I thought you were actually my friend, but, and it's not trusting again. But it's like, okay, and I feel like this is a problem that a lot of girls, when this does happen, it's either they play it down, they make a joke out of it, or they just keep to themselves, because it's like, okay, you tell, like, what happens next. Like, when you tell what happens next, most times it's nothing. So I kind of kept to myself. I was like, okay, I took a shower and I went to bed, and I was like, tomorrow I will just erase this as I sleep. I can go on and on, but I just wanted to touch on like the 3 major things that have happened. Anyways, yesterday I had a conversation with someone about it, and I think it's finally time for me to come out and talk about it, because it's a topic that is very uncomfortable to talk about, but it's something that needs to be talked about. And yeah, I know there's probably a lot of people in my position, a lot of people who've gone through what I have, or even worse, and I just want to be here to say, look, it is never your fault. It is not something you can control. Like I said, when it happened to me the first time, I completely froze, and that happens to so many people. It's like, there's nothing you can do. So don't ever think that you allowed it, because I beat myself up for so long saying, oh, well, I can't really, chat, because, I was alert. Like, I knew what was going on, and I could have stopped it, even though now looking back, what was I supposed to do? I couldn't stop it. I just froze, and, I think that is important to know, that it is never, ever, ever your fault. You should never, ever blame yourself for that, And it's a thing where, I still blame myself, but I know I have to stop it, because I wasn't in the wrong. But, yeah, And the other thing is, you know, the guilt factor of it as well. You should never feel guilty or never feel bad about speaking up because you might tarnish this person's name or destroy their life or whatever. Because if they're capable of doing something like that, then in my opinion your life deserves to be destroyed. I feel like that one is one that I struggle with the most, because like I said, this is a family member, and if I was to go to you know, if I was to tell my family and speak out about it, oh, it's my word against his, you know, because he's gonna deny it, obviously. He's gonna deny it, and it's my word against his. Oh, I'm just trying to, you know, and it's like, my mom, like I said, is gonna stick up for me, you know, regardless. And it's just like, my family's already messed up since my father passed, and it's just like, why would I want to go and mess it up even further, you know? So that's so even now I'm so scared to even like thinking about posting this. It's like, my family's gonna watch this and I could mess so many things up. And I could mess I could mess up someone's life. And that's the last thing I want to do. I can really thinking about it, I could really mess up my family with this. But it's a thing where I have to tell myself, and you have to tell yourself, that it is wrong. It doesn't matter if it's a family member, it doesn't matter if it's a stranger, a friend, it is wrong on so many levels. And by you speaking out, you can stop it from happening to someone else. And that is why I'm doing this now. I never, ever, ever, ever thought I'd be able to talk about this, especially, you know, like this, because it's open for everyone to see. It messed me up. And it's not only till this morning, even when I woke up, it's like, wow, I've been so emotional the whole day, because it's the first time I've really sat down and thought about it and was like, wow, you know, I am messed up and I need help and I need to talk to someone about it. If you ever feel like something like this has happened to you, please do not play it, don't water it down. Please don't just push it to the back of your head, speak up about it. It is very scary. My heart is palpitating so much and I am so sweaty, but I feel so much better now. It doesn't have anything to do with what you're wearing, how you look, how you present yourself. That is bullshit. Bullshit, bullshit, bullshit. It is never, ever, ever, ever your fault, and it will never, ever, ever be your fault to be assaulted. It can never, ever be your fault. And I will start to tell myself these things. I know it's been what, 2015, 16, 17. It's been 6 years since the first time, and it will probably take me a longer time to finally accept it wasn't my fault. I shouldn't feel guilty, but I would be able to tell myself and believe it. And I hope you guys, any of you who've gone through similar or the same thing, will also be able to tell yourself that, you know, it's not my fault. I shouldn't feel guilty, you know? But yeah, I think that is all. This is a very, very, very heavy video, so I apologize. I just kind of wanted to let everything out. And this is my way of talking, because I don't know how I'm supposed to start off a conversation, be like, oh yeah, you know, this happened and this happened. But I feel like this is the way to get the conversation started, and it's out there, and just to tell people, you know, you are not alone. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. If you want to laugh, I literally just posted a video yesterday of me embarrassing myself, so you can watch that. But yeah, thank you for watching, and I will see you guys next time.